This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. Talk to us on our socials on Finding Atoria or our website, www.wordleafmedia.com. As always, you can find more Atoria and support the show on our Patreon. Welcome back to the table, guys. You're listening to Finding Atoria. My name is Arcadia, and I am going to be your GM for today's episode.
Hooray!
Joining me are my fellow adventurers, Malcolm.
Hello.
And Tori.
What up?
And Tori is joining us remote today for the second time.
This is so cool. I wish that you were here. Don't get me wrong, but it's going so very well in the remote locations. Just neat.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you, being in my pajamas is kind of nice.
Definitely. So today we are continuing our expose on different types of characters to be played in some of our favorite TTRPGs. We're stepping a little bit away from the high fantasy.
It is a little bit of a shakeup because we spend so much time there that we kind of default to the D&D world. Yeah.
Right. And on a previous episode, we dove into the world of Vampire the Masquerade.
That was fun.
And now we are going to dive into Shadowrun.
I like it.
Malcolm and Tori have prepared a dive into some of their favorite types of players that they want to do. And I'll let them explain more on those. But let's roll for initiative.
Can I have a bonus?
No, I'm thinking no.
Okay. I tried it before and it worked.
Yeah.
In fact, it was perfect, but okay. No bonus for me.
No bonuses around. We're going to do a straight shot.
Okay. Bird, do you have your favorite D20?
Question.
Hold
Are we
on.
rolling D20?
Oh, are we rolling D20?
We did that with VTM, but
A 6?
let's do a D6. Do we have any?
6. I think out of all of the dice that are sitting on the studio desk that there are, hold on, I've got a bag of dice somewhere.
I was going to say, oh, don't worry. I got plenty of D6s over here.
What are we rolling? Are we rolling a group of D6s, 1D6? What would you have us do, GM?
Oh, let's do.
We should do an actual dice pool roll.
Yeah,
So 5s and 6s,
yeah.
and then offset by 1s.
sure.
How many dice?
How many you want?
Oh,
Let me find
4.
4D6.
Let me find Siddeley's dice.
5s and 6s will hit.
Yep.
1s will be errors, and the highest number of successes wins. Are you okay with that, Bird? Those are my roll-off terms.
Yeah, you said 6 or 5.
4 dice and 5 and 6s are hits.
And
Okay.
ones are scratches. They take away hits. Okay? You ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm rolling. You rolling? Christ on a cracker. I shot myself in the foot. How you feeling?
I didn't shoot myself in the foot, but I don't think I shot anybody else.
Do you have any successes?
I have 3 3s and a 2.
No successes.
No successes. I have a success, but I have 2 1s and a 3.
Oh,
So I've got
gone
more
negative.
fails. I think that this is why Shadowrun's so fucking tough.
I believe Tori.
Tori has
Is the
won
winner.
initiative.
okay.
So are you deferring or are you jumping forward?
You know what? He's covering. You're doing face, right?
I'm doing faces.
Well, face always comes first, man.
Face always goes first. Face is out front. Okay, so you're deferring to me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did a class expose on Shadowrun class of the face.
He was just holding back, and it was like the floodgate got opened, and he got to jump in.
I get to talk about player side shit, man. This is not often for me. So I went in and I've played a couple of them before, but I kind of wanted to look at the character class of the face in Shadowrun. because I think that it is a role that could be applied to absolutely any TTRPG setting, mechanic, world. In a group that's trying to get shit done, there usually is somebody who can pass mildly for someone who they are not, or has information and leverage that is not the brawn way to come to a resolution of a situation. The source book speaks to, and I've got what I believe to be the newest version of the core rule book of Shadowrun.
Oh, you have the 6th edition?
I believe so. If not, it is the one previous. But
I think the most of the ones that we have are 5th ed.
5th ed is probably what we have our core rule book from. So why don't I go ahead and cite that source as the 5th ed core rule book. And they talk about the face being not a privileged youth that's got access through family money. This is the kid that grew up tough on the streets and slums, and somebody took him aside and said, "Hey, listen, there's a easier way or a better way than getting your brains beaten out, every day trying to come up in this world," and taught him the tricks of the trade, so to speak. But a face to me, essentially in the game, is going to be an access point, an information point. And one thing that they do not have a laundry list of as a character in the Shadowrun world are the big, heavy weapons. This isn't the person that's going to go in and have the buffed out shoulders and get into a brawling match, or pull out the submachine gun and mow down the room. But what they do have a long list of are contacts. And that's really why I love that character in the Shadowrun game. And I think we touched on it before, but it gives the postmodern urban sprawl a much different interaction matrix than meet, encounter bad guy, fight bad guy, hit bad guy. It matters who you know. And I think that the Shadowrun lore in the game, with context in the corporate world, and you've got, a lot of different elements, that the face is a really cool way to lean into that world.
Yeah, you've got the role-playing aspect that is important there, the information, the charisma, the
right, and
manipulation of information.
That's what they were saying. And the source book was so good, is that you've got somebody that can, keep a executive secretary, occupied with conversation and charm, or can go in and bluff an orc bodyguard with intel about, their non-discretion, indiscretions. It's and adaptable. That's the other thing, is that you're going to see them with a whole lot of different IDs, identification sticks, a lot of different backgrounds, different currencies, different languages. I want to be able to go in with an accent at the right place and sound like I'm from this area.
That's what I was thinking of, is you talk about that they are a character that, isn't growing up on the privileged side of things. So what kind of backstory, what kind of work is required in order to be able to take on these different roles?
For me, it's that young hustle to the next hustle thing. And almost like you would work up in any organization or any skill level, any trade, is that you need to out hustle the next best hustler. You need to take into confidence the next rung on the ladder. And I think you for that character, your currency is your contacts. Who owes you favors? Who can you trust for information? Who can you leverage to affect outcomes and situations for you?
And are there any negatives of playing in interacting with people who are at a higher level, like say monetarily in society? I believe that there is, and I think that one of the negs where you can really break your character if you're a face is to lose your credibility. Sure.
Is if you get blown as, a contact by somebody who is higher than you on the food chain, kind of like in business, now you are you're cut out.
Yeah. Tori, you were going to jump in there. What was your thought?
It's almost okay. So what it reminds me of the face as a class in Shadowrun reminds me, it's like a mix between a bard, get rid of all the performance and the magic shit, but it's a mix of the bard and almost the inquisitor rogue.
Right, because you've got that social charisma element of the bard.
And it's that almost spider thing that the inquisitive rogue has.
That network, right? And I like that the game does a good job of putting metrics and statistics in place for that. What I would say, though, is it is for when you talk about character negs, one of the things that can happen very quickly is if you have an active face, you're going to piss off some people. And I kind of go to, well, you look in media and in TV and movies for these type of characters, and you've got one that's called Face from A-Team.
Yes.
And if you look at those episodes, what he was usually doing was distracting the nurse with, the eyes, and then he would have a disguise, or he would come in claiming to be persons he was not. And it was a lot of that bard bluff sort of thing. But I love the way that, the face is going to be the person that's, negotiating with the Mr. Johnson. How much are we getting paid? If they've got to split up loot, almost the salesperson, the face for the team. If you had a name for your Shadowrun group, and you would have a face for the group.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is this is going to be the front person for the group? How do your skills develop as you gain experience?
I think that a lot of what you have is persuasion and negotiation. Going back to that bard sort of concept, if I want to try to make somebody believe that something is a certain way, what skills am I using to do it? And then am I augmenting that with any of the tech that I've got, to show them, an ID card that's totally fabricated, but I've got to get that to pass too, versus their, software or their knowledge to check for those things, and what tools are supporting the ruse that you're doing or the negotiation that you're in, because I think that the game provides a lot of those too, just surveillance things. Like if I can get into a room and record you saying something, and you don't know that, now I have leverage on you. A really cool thing, I thought.
So Tori, your go-to, we've talked about in different episodes, is a rogue type character. And this is a face is very much a rogue-ish type character. So I'm intrigued as to your thoughts about the class.
I think they are it's a necessary thing to have in the game.
That was going to be a question I had, is like, does a party have to have a face?
Yes.
Okay.
I would think so. There's so many benefits.
Right. And with all the other classes, none of them are going to have, all of them are so specialized, because they really are. There's not like, the way the game works and the way you build the characters, you could probably build somebody who has the ability to do it, but it wouldn't be their primary function.
Sure.
Right. Those social skills are always going to be the soft end when you're specializing those other classes, I think.
Right. So you might be able to get, you might be have one of the other characters who might be able to talk themselves out of a problem, but when it comes to like getting jobs and shit, nuh-uh.
Favorable negotiation and getting information first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The way they have it set up, it's almost like a necessary thing.
Okay. Interesting. I find it intriguing that in our group, it makes sense to me, Malcolm, that is a character you would find intriguing to play.
They're a bullshit artist, which I enjoy that aspect of role-playing game. Like my Loxodon Bard.
Right, yeah.
I love the negotiation element and the persuasion, the intimidation, the getting through a social encounter with those skill checks and using those things. And I love the Shadowrun system for rewarding that.
Yeah. You talk about the tech they use, and the examples you've given so far are exterior to the person. Do they do any of the modifications to their body that you see a lot in Shadowrun?
I think that for surveillance, for communication accessibility, and then for I think image capture. I think that you're going to have augmented vision. I think that you're going to have probably
You'll have what, Tori?
Biosoft.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to be a situation where you're probably not going to see a whole lot of physical augmentation, to be quicker, to be quicker, but, we're not bulking up muscle, and I don't need those sorts of things. But you could probably, if you had a good neg on a face, it could be an elf poser. It could be somebody who is trying to augment their actual appearance to be more appealing as a face, and you could run into some very interesting negs.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, so nice segue. What are some of the negs?
Yeah, some of the negs that I looked at really have to do with reputation, and without going down the laundry list, there are going to be those things like a burnt contact, somebody who you rely on, or maybe it's your Mr. Johnson that hires the team, and some interaction has gone down, and now there is your persona non grata, which is about the worst thing that can happen to a face, because you want to be able to be out there, be seen, be public, be trusted to a point to where people want to do business with you, even if the rest of your Shadowrunners are deplorable, bloodthirsty, bullet sling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want them there because negotiation is a big part of the social aspect of that game. And, are we getting screwed? And kind of that perception check, I think, is also something that the character brings to the table of, hey, if somebody's up to some fuckery, then they're going to be able to sniff out the double cross a little bit quicker with those social skills.
So, Tori, my question then would be at you, back to the idea of a roguish nature. This is, have you played a face? Is this a character you have gone towards?
No.
And why not?
Nope. Because so with rogues, and none of my rogues are ever that face type person.
Fair. You don't operate rogues in regards to charisma heavy.
No.
Yeah.
No. I would prefer my character to be behind. Like, I mean, obviously, one of my things is almost all of my intelligence is almost always one of my higher stats. Mm-hmm. And that's just because I like my characters to be smart. So I like playing the person behind a face.
Sure.
Because there's probably something that I can do that they can't.
Right.
Without worrying about burning that reputation.
Absolutely.
I don't have to. So I don't like playing a face because there were some things that I wouldn't be able to do.
Sure. So I've got to admit here, every time we say face, I know you talked about A-Team,
mm-hmm.
and for me, not connected really at all, but constantly in my head, the face of Bo keeps popping up.
Which would be a great crossover character. Do you imagine negotiating with him for...
Captain Jack is a perfect face.
Jack is a perfect face, and I knew there was a connection there too, like as far as him being a face. But when it's the face of Bo, it's a little different.
You just it's the skid greaser, or the you grease the skids a little bit. You make it easier to get places, but a lot of it is the bullshit artist, as we're not supposed to be on level 13 of Tanaka Corp headquarters after hours. And it's almost pulling out that psychic paper.
Right.
And going, yeah, we are. Or the Jedi trick.
That's what I was thinking too.
You're actually relieved we're here. Oh, so great you're here.
Wave your fingers.
Right, exactly. Sort of that. It's all right that, yeah. I'm thinking of Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China when he's just trying to talk his way past, as you know what I mean, is we're here to fix the phone. That's a face. That's somebody who's got to pull that bullshit off.
So So truly, we find this type of character everywhere in our stories.
Sure. I think, in every game too. I think that you could have one in VTM. You could have one in a Warhammer setting, or and I think that, like Bird said it, that it's good to have one of those. And Shadowrun, especially in my mind, depending on who's running the game and how they're running it, I know when I GM that game, I love using contacts and street cred and reputation as a currency for access to things in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and since I will say this, and I'll bring it up later, one of Sitta's negs is she's got a bad rep.
Right, and that's one of the big negs in the game.
Sitta can't be a face.
Sure.
So...
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you don't want somebody without those skills or somebody with those negs as a character leading there. But I think kind of like when you guys were doing VTM, I think there's so much that could be talked about. Yeah. I love like I said, that the parts of the game that class gives you access to are some of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think we could dive into this for, time without end. But I think this has been a really good introduction for people. And I'm really grateful that you brought it to the table today.
Thanks, man. You want to take a break and then we'll bounce it back?
We maybe take a break and let you guys hear a little bit from...
Bird, can you stay on with us from your undisclosed remote location a little bit longer?
I can.
All right. We're going to take a break and we will talk to you when we come back.
This episode of Finding a Tori is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding a Tori podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program.
Welcome back to the table with Finding a Toria. We're on part 2 of our episode diving into Shadowrun classes. And we just heard Malcolm share a little bit about the face.
That was fun. That was a good time.
And now we get to listen and share with Tori her information about riggers.
Oh, strap in.
Yeah.
For those of you at home, because this is, yes, I've been looking forward.
Me some riggers.
So share with us, why do you love you some riggers?
Okay, so everybody, if they've listened to any episode, they know I'm a rogue main. That's just the way it is. I like the way the characters work. There is no rogue in Shadowrun.
They're like all rogues in Shadowrun.
Well, yeah, you're all running
a little rogue skin.
Illegal shit, but I picked up riggers as my first one and then figured out I really did like the way that the class worked.
So I'm gonna interrupt just for a minute for the audience. What is a rigger?
Okay, so
because that's just a term. What does it mean?
Well, we need to explain what the world is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a cyberpunk world. It's set. I think the latest one, it's like 2070 or something. It's further down.
Yeah, futuristic cyberpunk dystopia.
The Matrix is real, but not like the movie. You can use cybernetics to interact with the electronic world. Blah blah blah. One of the main things are deckers, who are the hackers that use they have decks to break through these they have giant corporations, right?
Yep. So what are the riggers doing?
The riggers are almost like there's two classes. This is hilarious. There are two classes in Shadowrun that are expensive. One of those is Deckers. The other one are Riggers.
So many toys.
And Deckers are my favorite, but yes.
Correct. But Riggers are the ones, they get the toys like vehicles, drones, like automatic, like they're almost, I figured this out, they are almost the artificer of Shadowrun.
Okay.
Interesting comparison.
They have the toys, they don't use magic for it, they build it.
Right.
They have a rigging unit, which is expensive, and considering you have vehicles, most of the time they have drones that they can hook into with their head, because they have this rigging deck or this rigging unit, and that is, they use their head to do it because it transfers electronics into, anyways. But they are, the reason why it caught me is because they're the car thieves of Shadowrun.
Okay.
Right, because they're bond to the mechanical, their bond to the electronic, right, especially vehicles, is unique in the game.
Right. And it's machines, period. It's not necessarily vehicles, even though most of the time vehicles are their main focus.
So like
a lot of
don't go. Well,
no,
I was just going to ask, so Malcolm sort of pointed out that with the face, the area of society which a lot of these characters, their backstory comes from. What about the riggers? Is this, anyone from anywhere with an interest in mechanics? What's the typical backstory for a rigger?
Usually a mechanic of some sort. I can tell you that Sida, who was my latest character, was a retired Army mechanic.
Okay.
And because of that, she learned how to build stuff, and the Army taught her how to do it.
Right. So you had a very cool cross-pollinated backstory for a rigger in that you had the mechanical expertise and the ordnance training through the military.
Right. So cool. My character was a mechanic, and she knows how to blow shit up.
Bonus.
What was your, when you were playing in what was your go-to as far as, if I'm going to build, and it doesn't have to be specific to Sida, but if you're looking at the class, what are some of the non-negotiables that you want for skills or equipment walking into taking that role on of the rigger for a group?
Logic.
Okay.
Reaction. And intuition were my main ones.
Why the intuition?
Because it helps with, oh crap, maybe I need to get this bird in the air rather than this drone.
Knowing what to deploy.
Knowing what to deploy, what might hit me first, right?
Yeah.
So those were, because I will say that building a Shadowrun character is so absolutely different than building a D&D character or a VTM character. Like, the builds on those 3 game systems are so different.
Definitely.
So the idea of the face is that they're the face of the party. What is the rigger's role for the party?
Oh, they're skill monkeys.
Okay, so what are they doing?
They're skill monkeys, like engineering. I've got heavy weaponry, like all the ones that I'm reading off the Sida stuff, right? Because I have her demolition, navigation, pilot ground, or like gunnery, piloting, sneaky, perception. Like basically, I would be the cavalry.
And I also think there's a ranger-esque element. You know,
Almost.
you can do a little bit of infiltrating, going ahead, surveillance. The scout role also kind of fits the and I also think that you kind of fit that guy in the chair role as a rigger too.
Yeah,
you get to see the whole field, get surveillance, direct people that are, you know, on the ground. And you can also swing out the artillery on your van if you so choose and roll in there like hellfire.
So let's blow out this A-team metaphor that we pulled out. Who is our rigger?
Tori Baracus, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
I was waiting for that.
I pity the fool.
Absolutely. I think that you can get a lot of diversity from that role because kind of like with Mage Hand, you can have your guns in your hands or be hightailing it out of there on that's the other thing is, you know, kind of a getaway driver.
Yep.
But kind of like Mage Hand, you can throw up the drones and be like, okay, we can do some damage while doing other things. Utility, a very good utility character. So I'm not at all shocked that Tori as a player is drawn to that diversity of action. You like a lot of action steps.
I like Swiss Army knife characters.
Well, yes. Okay. But I'm going to add to that. You do like to then narrow down to doing one thing really, really well when you're playing a D&D character. Do you do the same thing with a rigger in Shadowrun?
Yes. I will say my negs kind of fucked me up because I have one of my negs is SimSense Vertigo. So I have to be seated if I am rigged up. Like I cannot walk and rig at the same time. I'm gonna fall on my face.
Thank you for everybody that's out there that's ever gamed and ran a game and just saw what the game master did there and went, No, you're very welcome. Absolutely. It's like walking your dro at noon. Sorry. I think that we are building me out as a very, very evil GM. I'm sorry.
You are not, but you do utilize things against us where they're there for a reason to do so.
Yeah, if you can do all of that, you're going to have to sit down.
And that's the thing where it's like, I'm not, even if I am really good at something, there is something that can nuke that.
Sure.
And I have to be careful of that.
Game balance, man.
Which keeps me paying attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah. What are some other negs that a rigger might have to deal with if someone wants to play that character?
Well, okay, so I've got bad reputation. That's one of my three negs are bad rep, SimSense Vertigo, and prejudice. I hate street samurai. And that makes it was really funny because I hated Chuck's character.
Yeah, that was a really good time. When you can play Shadowrun and do a full marital therapy session at the same time. I hold no licenses, but we got some work done between you and that street samurai.
I was ready to kill him too.
Oh my, yeah, we almost went PvP so many times in that. I think we did start out with a standoff, didn't we?
Yeah, until I finally told him to get in the fucking car.
Yes, it was.
My exact words. That's great. And then Chase blew up. It decided to short circuit everything.
Well, in getting back to the character that you ran in the class of the rigger, you honestly were kind of forced to play face in that group, if I remember correctly.
and it was not good.
And you lamented it the whole time.
Role
yes.
Frequently in our games. It's sort of amusing.
It never goes amiss either. You call it, I am not the fucking bard.
And then I do it anyway.
Sorry, Jess.
Yes, sorry, Jess.
And it's usually awkward as hell, but somehow works out.
Yeah, there's, the roles come from beyond the gods when you're just like, hey there, sir. I would like to awkwardly walk past your guard station now. He's like, hey there, ma'am. Have a good evening.
Yeah, like what?
Is that a little bit of good player role and really poor GM dice?
It's usually a strong combination mixer of both. Yes.
Well,
2 parts pain and 3 parts pain.
The coolest part, I think one of the best things that Shadowrun does as a game is it gives you that you have to have negs.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot just be all powerful. It's like, no, you could have these positives, but you're gonna, on the other side of the coin, you're going to have negative.
And what's cool about that, I think that for going back to the rigor class, kind of like I said with the face thing, it makes me feel like there were facets of the game that were open to me and that benefited that class. I think that the rigor is, I mean, just go shopping. Like, it is get in the back of the book, get in the gear, and just start smacking combinations of and then do the upgrade when everybody wants a new level in D&D for a new spell slot. The rigger's sitting over there going, all right, give me the new gear. Give me the level up gear. Let me, do I know a guy that sells this? Do I have? So you can sit there and go, yeah, dude, Jerry's got one right now. It's just double the amount of money that you have access to. And then when they're flush, no, sorry, Jerry left town with the last 2 of them on. You know what I mean?
So
well,
that, go ahead.
Thing that was, the one thing that, so we run without a decker.
Yes.
And riggers are closer and can get through some of the same stuff deckers can. But when it comes to some of the, because riggers have to get through security systems.
Right. And versus ice, you need a decker.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if I'm going up against just a normal security system for the building.
Yep. You can spec that. And you know, they can deploy their countermeasures. And I think that we've had those interactions where, yeah, it's your setup on your, what's your favorite vehicle? What do you like to drive?
I think I have a GMC something. I think I might actually have, oh no, it was a Jeep.
I thought it was a Jeep, yeah.
I think it's a Jeep. I think it's the one that's almost like the Humvee.
Did we blow that up at the end of the last episode?
No, we did not, but I had to figure out how to change it because it's my car.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But you a recognized vehicle now, yeah.
So,
right.
Tori, what would be sort of the same question I asked Malcolm earlier? What kind of biological adaptations, modifications, amplifications would a rigger do?
They would have a lot, like Sida's got amplified reactions. I've got more biosofts, so I can hook into all of my gear.
Okay.
Right, you've got to have the softs to run your drones and your other.
Right, I don't have like the muscle stuff. I don't have the armor plating type thing, but she's got a lower. I don't remember what's the name of it, like my humanity or essence is lower because of I have more gear than say the street samurai.
And you've got to have more space. You've got to have more, just storage.
Right. So I have most riggers are pretty jacked up.
Right, but not like the dermal plating and the
no,
right.
No. I don't have any of that. I do have. I think I do have the reactions pumped up, but I think I use that not because of physical stuff. I did that so I could be more with it to react quicker.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With any of the electronic shit that I'm dealing with.
Very cool. Same as we've been saying all along. I think we could dive in.
Would you like 4 more hours of rigor questions
on all of this? Thank you guys for giving us a bit of an introduction to the world of Shadowrun. Maybe for those who haven't played or have played other classes and want to learn more information about other options. We are always striving to help people find their place at their table. And, hopefully if you've been thinking about Shadowrun or curious about Shadowrun or different characters there, that this information helps you find your place at your table. We are really, really grateful that you guys are listening.
Very much.
And we love being here, having our conversations together, sharing information with you.
So join the conversation, interact with us for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Interact with us on our socials. You can find us at Finding a Toria. You can also find us at www.wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And as always, please consider supporting us on our Patreon.
Support us on the Patreon. It's the way to go.
Thank you for joining us at the table today with Finding a Toria.
Next week. This was such a fun time. Bye, guys.
Say bye, guys.